Hello, FinTech fans. Lily back here at Hong Kong FinTech Week, and I've got Chad West over here from the Revolut app. I was very excited when he retweeted me yesterday. So, Chad, tell us what brings you to FinTech Week in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I think Revolut's obviously a very big brand in Europe. We're now in the midst of launching into other parts of the world, including Asia. So we'll be launching in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan in the next few months. So I think this was an opportunity for us to give the people of Hong Kong a bit of an insight as to what's coming their way. I think obviously Asia's very advanced when it comes to finance and money management generally, but where they're lacking is good foreign exchange.
Okay. So
we're very clear that Hong Kong's a very international city. People are sending money around all the time, spending money, and we can give them the best possible rate in the market. So I think stuffing it to the local banks a bit and building a bit of brand awareness.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, because I've heard about Revolut app before, because I'm quite tapped into the digital nomad community, and so for people who are traveling a lot, who live their lives tied to their laptops all around the world, something like Revolut actually is quite life changing.
Yeah, I think what's cool is Revolut in Europe anyway. So we got 3 million users now. We're approaching 10,000 per day accounts,
Wow.
which is insane. And I think what's good is majority of our users are either 18 to 35, and they're using Revolut as their everyday card now. So they've actually replaced their bank card with Revolut, which is super cool. And then there's still a chunk who are using it purely for, as you said, FX and things, so nomads. When they're abroad, they need to have an account they can use in other countries without getting shut down every 2 minutes. They want to have a card that gives them a lot of security because, if they lose their card or misplace it, their bank's not really going to help them out with getting access to their money. And as you said, the multi-currency aspect to it, the good rates. So we're really tapped into the nomad community as well, the likes of Peter Levels and these guys. And what's really cool about Revolut is we're taking a lot of their feedback on board and trying to adjust our app not just to suit one audience, but to suit multiple.
Yeah, no, that was kind of one of the topics you covered in your when you spoke yesterday. Was really looking to your users to find the innovations there, right? So we've been speaking with plenty of people, and we have this eye on the trends. But if you guys are with this innovation first focus, what do you see as something that you wanna bring into the fintech scene?
I think the next thing for us is we're very different. So we're not like these sort of challenger banks you hear of, right? We don't want to be this bank that's live in 1 or 2 countries or one continent. We want to be this global app that you manage pretty much every aspect of your financial life. So I think and what's good about fintech is sometimes there's a lot of hot air. People say things, we want to be 1 billion users, we want to expand worldwide, but you got to back it up, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I love about Revolut. If we say we're going to do something, that's because we've already started doing it. And the next big thing that we're going to bring in is commission-free stock trading.
Okay.
So we're going to allow our users to invest in UK, US, and EU stocks and ETFs, commission-free, similar to what Robinhood's doing, identical to what Robinhood's doing in the US, but we're going to scale that globally. So yeah, it's sort of just backing up our model and staying true to who we are, innovation.
All right, that's super cool. And then how did you get involved then in Revolut or in this whole scene?
Yeah, my background's a funny one. I started off in politics, I think I realized I wasn't that much of an asshole, so I left. It wasn't quite for me. But yeah, I worked in policy and government affairs in central government. Then I moved to Rocket Internet, which is a big tech company that builds huge companies like Zalando and Delivery Hero, HelloFresh, which was super cool. So I really helped build and scale some companies there. And then Revolut, one of the HR people at Revolut with no pictures on their LinkedIn just reached out to me one day and said, hey, do you want to mess with the banks? And I was more than happy to. So 2 years later, best decision I ever made.
All right then, and so just as a closing question then, because a lot of our audience for Beach City are younger sort of aspiring entrepreneurs. So for people who want to be at the next global hot app, what's your advice for people who want to enter the scene?
Hard work. This is something that sometimes gets forgotten. There's all this talk of culture around it's somehow unhealthy to be in the office after 6 p.m. I don't get this. This is how you build tech companies. This is how you build startups. If you want to be a multi-billion-dollar company and challenge incumbents who already dominate the market, you're not going to do that working a 9 till 5. So I think one thing I try to be real to people and say like, you're going to hear what the media says about culture, you're going to hear what these so-called consultants say about culture. I think ultimately it's hard work, but you massively reap the rewards. You get benefits in terms of stock options, you get a hell of a lot of development, responsibility, freedom, and ultimately, usually people who get involved in big startups from the beginning, their plan is short term, right? They maybe want to work to their 30s and then retire, cash out with their stocks. So would you rather do that and work your ass off, or work to your 65? Like my dad did, and I know what I'd rather do. So I think ignore the media, ignore all this stuff, just stay true to yourself and remember that it's hard work, and that's the key point, is don't be afraid of hard work.
All right then, Chad West of Revolut app, keeping it real here at Hong Kong FinTech Week. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and for our viewers, we're going to have more live interviews later at Hong Kong FinTech Week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.